everybody. Happy New Year. Just wanted to pop on here really quick and thank all you guys for being a subscriber this year and for all of you who've done shopping the affiliate links and just supporting the channel, and we really appreciate it. And it's been an awesome year for the channel. We've grown a whole lot. But my main reason for popping on here is to kind of start thinking about where your goals are for next year. I had a crazy year this year. I mean, between the channel growing and then my wife getting sick and then better and going to the hospitals and all the other stuff, I managed to keep up pretty good. I didn't fall too far behind in my preps, but there were still a few things that I didn't get done, and I'll get them done at the beginning of the year. But, you know, still a few goals that I missed, and I wanted to talk about that. Now, this year we face a lot of issues. You know, we have the usual threats of natural disasters, terrorism, fires, floods, whatever, along with the fact that we have an election year coming up, and, you know, political stuff can get really violent and crazy. And we also have the situation in Virginia with the gun rights supporters and people trying to take them away. So, good time to take stock of what you've done this year and what you need to get done for the new year. What I like to do is tell people to take what you need to get done, you know, the smaller things, and make a plan. You start with small goals. Like the example I like to give is solar. If you want to get into solar, start small. Get a small gel cell battery off of Amazon, a small charge control, little inverter, and a panel. You can do all that for probably around $100 and get an actual system that will actually charge phones, maybe run some lights, power a few things. And it's a tiny little system. If you can't put the panel outside, put it in a window that gets sun most of the day. That's how I started doing it. When I started my solar, I actually put it in a window and just let it go. With a system like that, you can learn a whole lot from starting small. You can learn how it works, what does work, what doesn't. And because solar is kind of scalable, you can go up or down with the project. So if you move, if you're in an apartment, you know, you really don't have a place to put panels outside, you just have it in your window. If you move later on, you can grow that to a much bigger project. Same goes with starting food storage. You know, if you want to start food storage, I tell people the story of how I started. We were just starting a business. We had little to no money to prep. And as a matter of fact, it was about 20 years ago, around the time of all the Y2K stuff, which is really what got me into preparedness. We would just buy a few extra cans of food every week, just a few extra, toss them in our cart and put them away. And I always laugh because I ended up having this big cardboard box in my closet full of canned food. And, you know, I think back now and I'm like, God, that would have lasted me about a week. But, you know, at least I was starting. So you start small like that. If you could spend an extra 15, 20 bucks a week, 10 bucks a week, whatever, you start small and you grow. Another thing I tell people is if you want to start some emergency cash to stash at home, just stop spending your singles and your ones. Every time you get, your singles and your change, not your singles and your ones. Just put those in a jar somewhere, store them. When you get up to what you think is a decent amount, go into the bank, cash them in. I tell people to keep some smaller bills and some change, because no one's going to be able to make exact change after, you know, all the digital systems go down. But that's a good way to get a cash stash started up for emergencies. So the important thing is, before you jump into a bunch of New Year's resolutions, these big grandiose things, you want to evaluate how 2019 was for you. You want to list what you accomplished and what you would have done, and where you feel you might have come up short, and think back to whatever it was, and ask yourself what you could have done differently or better in those areas you came up short. If you take your time with that kind of a plan, you can bypass all the resolutions and end up heading into 2020 with an actual plan that can keep you much more productive and successful this year. So I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. We will be back on the channel next weekend, as usual, going at it. So I have a lot of good stuff coming up. We have some more experiments with the Gotenna. We got some Thrive Life stuff coming up. So I definitely want to thank all of you for being subscribers, and I hope you have an awesome 2020.